This short slideshow is to put Kehinde Wiley's work side by side with the quote old master painting and sculptures that directly inspired him. You'll be reading this week about how and why he works in this way, and it's very interesting. But let's just see the work side by side. On the right, we have the 1801 painting of Napoleon crossing the Saint Bernard Pass by the French artist Jacques-Louis David. On the left, Kehinde Wiley's take on that same idea, Napoleon leading the army over the Alps from 2005. Here on the right, we have Frans Hals, the 17th century Dutch painter, and his portrait of Willem van Huythuizen, a Dutch cloth merchant. And on the left, we have Kehinde Wiley's painting of the same name, but clearly of a different kind of person altogether. Here is a sculpture commissioned by the Museum of Art in Richmond, Virginia, and it stands right outside the museum. It's also located on Monument Boulevard, which has a lot of sculpture, quite controversially, of Confederate heroes, and at one end, a single African-American hero, Arthur Ashe, the tennis star. But at this end, we have an anonymous man on a horse. The tradition of equestrian heroes goes way back to the Roman Empire, so the tradition is very, very old. What Wiley is reacting to directly is this statue from the 19th century of General Robert E. Lee, also located on Monument Boulevard. In San Francisco at the DeYoung Museum, we've had an installation of Wiley's work executed during the pandemic called collectively The Archaeology of Silence, and that's named after the largest sculpture in the entire show, which you'll see at the end of this slideshow. The installation consists of paintings and sculpture. This one is called The Dying Gaul After a Roman Sculpture of the First Century. So all that is the title. And here it is side by side with the sculpture that inspired the pose. Originally from the Hellenistic Empire, so those are the Greeks. The Hellenistic Empire is the empire of Alexander the Great, and this is a Roman copy of that statue. And this directly inspires the sculpture you see on the wall. There are two more views of both of those versions of the Dying Gaul. Here is another Wiley sculpture, the Virgin Martyr Saint Cecilia. When you see it in two views. On the right-hand side, you can see it next to a very monumentally huge painting. So notice the scale. These sculptures are roughly life-size. The paintings are far larger than life-size. And the lighting in this exhibition is extremely dramatic. That's part of the show, too. So it sets a mood where it's very, very dark with very bright spotlights on each of the works of art. Here is the original version of Martyrdom of Saint Cecilia from 1600, and Wiley's version on the right. This is the closing sculpture as you leave the exhibition, and it's